Welcome to your 2021 Mercedes AMG GLA 45. Mercedes Canada's website says it has the most powerful four-cylinder engine in production, and it sure feels like that. So under the hood, it's a 2-liter inline-4 turbo engine, 382 horsepower, and 354 pound-feet of torque, all run through an 8-speed automatic transmission, and this, it's got their 4MATIC system. This is really surprisingly, astoundingly bonkers. It is just how they've put so much power into their smallest crossover and still made it livable day to day is absolutely wonderful. This is just lightning fast. For a taller vehicle with a higher center of gravity, it handles just as well as a sedan does. There's so many factors that the GLA 45 has going for it. Let's do the actual driving impressions first, and then we'll kind of branch off and do some other things related to driving. So I'm going to try and do an audio test right now. So pulled over, I'm stopped. As you can see, there's nothing moving in the window. I'm in comfort mode, and I'm hoping the microphone will pick this up. So off with the automatic start-stop. Okay, come on. I'm trying to do a thing here, Mercedes. Okay, so I'm in comfort mode, and I'm going to go into Sport Plus. I'll be quiet, just take a listen. Hopefully you can hear it. Things are revving a little higher. Resting RPMs looks like 950, 975. As opposed to the 750, which is what I'm at in comfort mode. And let me just get past this stop sign that's coming up, and I will do a very quick acceleration test. I think the smile says it all. Like, it's nearly 400 horsepower. Anyways, just make sure nobody's around, no one's in my way. Okay, here is the comfort in comfort mode. And just a quick kick test. Okay, so you saw the hesitation, you saw the turbo spool up, and there's just a bit of a delay there. So we're going to do it again, but this time I'm going to go all the way to the top with Sport Plus. So good. Come on. All right, Sport Plus. So things are louder immediately, audibly, and the steering wheel is just not vibrating a little rougher, but you can feel it in the wheel. Anyways, dead stop, let's go. Okay, well, there's that. You're gonna dial it back into comfort mode. I'm hoping you heard the pops of the exhaust come through. I heard it, I felt it. So there's still a little bit of a lag as the turbo spools up in Sport Plus mode, but it is not nearly as long as it was in comfort mode. I can see this thing easily turning heads of the track. No, I didn't track it. I don't track any of my vehicles. A, manufacturers don't allow it, and B, it's not my thing. But I can and do absolutely appreciate a good high performance vehicle. So I've done a city drive for regular day-to-day things. I've done highway driving. I've done some backroads driving. With the taller windows, visibility is really, really strong. Whether I'm backing into a parking spot at a mall or a store or whatever, or just kind of navigating regular city traffic and just checking blind spots and seeing what's around me all the time. Visibility is really good. And as far as the driving at lower speeds, it's not too bad. It's a little on the rougher side. You feel a lot of the potholes, a lot of the imperfections in the road. Just the car is tuned so tightly, and the ride it's a rigid ride. It's a rough ride. Sorry, it can be a rough ride, but the chassis is very rigid. But that's part of the trade-off that you're gonna have when you get something again with nearly 400 horsepower that's an AMG. Highway driving, it's so smooth. Once you get up to your highway speeds, which take hardly any time at all, the GLA 45 just loves to be driven, and it gets a little noisy with noise vibration harshness, not the end of the world. and definitely would not be a deterrent for me if I was looking at this. Cornering handling, I touched on it a little while ago, but it's done surprisingly well for a vehicle that is, the vehicle that has a higher center of gravity. So the short version is, it's fast, it's accurate, it's precise with the acceleration, it corners and handles very well, but the ride is rigid, it can be a little rough. Even in comfort mode, you're feeling a lot of the bumps. Sport plus mode, and individual, depending on how you tune it in, can amplify that, and the ice slash snow slash slippery is for just winter conditions. All right, taking a look at the outside, it has the unmistakable signature grille, which has a bit of a menacing look to it, and it looks not an insult at all, but it looks a little cute because it's on such a small vehicle. And I just had the E53 AMG E53, and that looks just, again, very aggressive, very athletic, really menacing, because it's lower to the ground. But seeing that on the GLA, it's kind of got a cute look to it, but it's a, I look cute, but I will completely annihilate you in a race stance to it. And kind of going around the side, still has the same shape. You're on the rear, you get your quad tailpipes and LEDs all over the place, and it casts a really nice stance. And when I first saw it, I took a couple of looks. I'm like, well, it's very tall and stout, and I don't know how I feel about having the AMG treatment with this. But that was, I think, maybe 50, 60 feet away as I was walking up to the vehicle. And the closer I got, the more attractive it looked, starting with the grille, and then kind of doing a quick walk around. It still has a GLA shape, just with the AMG treatment to it. Final touch on the exterior, this does have the paid upgrade for 21-inch wheels, and that are AMGs, and I find it looks really sharp. It fills out the wheel wells nicely. The rims are okay, they're not great for me. I'm more of a traditionalist. It's gonna be your classic 5-spoke rims, 8 days a week, and I'm a happy guy. But these rims do look good paired with this. I believe the color is digital white, and I don't like light colored cars, regardless of the manufacturer. I'm more of it could be a black car or something really, really dark, or completely colorful, like the yellow Benz I had. That was the CLA a couple of weeks ago. Moving on to the interior, you'll notice right away, and I'm sure you have noticed since the beginning of the video, that this has the red and black leather treatment to it, and it really pops, and it looks so sharp. So there's red on the inside of the door inserts. I'll lean forward a touch. You can see red in the seats. Really, really classy and sporty color combination here. I would probably spec it the same way. I like the way Mercedes has put this vehicle together for the Canadian press fleet. So as far as the color scheme, full marks, you get the open pore wood just in front of your passenger. You got the two-piece, one-part screen, full digital dash, and the digital infotainment system. Still don't like the thumb controls for the pads on the steering wheel. I'm always overshooting or undershooting, and it's a lot of precision, and it can be a little distracting. Same thing with the touchpad, trackpad. I hope they do away with it over the next few years, maybe the next big generational change from Mercedes, and I just don't like it. At night, this beautiful, beautiful GLA 45 shines because it has the Mercedes treatment of having the vents be lit up. It's got the ambient lighting along the lines of the dashboard, and it just looks so good. Dual sunroofs, one for the front passengers, one for the rear, or front occupants, I should say. You shouldn't have a driver as a passenger. For the front occupants, and for the rear as well. Nice frameless rear view mirror. Yeah, it looks good, feels good. Steering wheel itself, it is the 3 flat sided. So you got the flat bottom, flat lefts, flat rights, and you got the natural arch at the top. The black center line, I don't recall which Mercedes it was that I had. Might have been the CLA AMG that had the center line in red, but I think there's enough red in the vehicle as it is. I think having the center line be red would just be a little much, and it's such a small, minute detail, but as the driver, you're always looking at it. Let's touch on fuel consumption before we wrap things up. So on a 51-liter tank of premium fuel in liters per 100 kilometers, We are at 11.6 on the city streets. That dips down to 8.8 on the highway. And our blended total comes out to 10.4, which really isn't that bad for a vehicle that has the most powerful 4-cylinder in production. So lots of power. It's not as bad on, at least for per National Resources Canada. So it can still be a great daily driver. It can be a little rough, but it has tons of performance potential and capability. So if you do want to have that extra bit of fun, you know, with dial in Sport or Sport Plus, overall, I don't know if I would take this as a daily driver. It'd be a great fun car to have, and you know, it's got, I think, 1,400 plus liters of cargo space with the seats down, and a little over 400 with the seats up. So there's function to be had here. Rear seats are pretty good. You can fit, I can fit behind myself comfortably. I don't know if that middle person would be completely thrilled with you after a 5-hour road trip, but you can get the stuff, things, and people in the GLA 45 and still have a good sense of functionality. That's going to wrap it up for the 2021 Mercedes AMG GLA 45. If you've got any questions on the vehicle, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support, and feel free to subscribe, and feel free to suggest the channel to somebody who you think might be interested in what it is that I do. Until I see you again, be well, be healthy, be safe.